Hello, my name is Mike Fitzgerald, and I have chosen to write my proposal on non-traditional employee incentives in addition to the use of monetary compensation. For many years, companies have used monetary compensation as a way to motivate employees and incentivize employees in the corporate setting. However, research has shown that interesting work is a top motivator for employees, not money. While most people will agree it is important and it is crucial to provide employees with a fair wage in order to expect quality work, there are numerous other motivating factors and morale boosters companies have not been taking advantage of. According to the article titled Understanding Employee Motivation, written by James R. Lindner, the top 5 factors by which employees are motivated are interesting work, good wages, full appreciation of work done, job security, and good working conditions. By looking at these factors, it is clear that employees are motivated by more than just money. Although good wages is number 2 on the list, there are many other things that can impact an employee's motivation at work. By taking into consideration these other factors, corporations and managers will be able to better tailor incentives to employees and create a working environment in which employees feel satisfied and appreciated. I will be writing my proposal on why I believe it is important to provide employees with non-economic incentives in addition to monetary compensation in the corporate setting to the CEO of Bank of America, Brian Moynihan. After looking into different organizations as well as large corporations and the employee benefits they provide, I decided to address my proposal to the CEO of Bank of America because of the large size of the company as well as their traditional motivating strategies. While looking into various companies and their strategies, I saw a lot about companies such as Google and Facebook and the non-traditional techniques they use to keep employees satisfied, which in turn decreases turnover. So, I decided to address my proposal to a traditional company in hopes this corporation will take advantage of non-economic motivating strategies in order to foster a sense of community within the company and keep employees happy and satisfied with their work. By just focusing on monetary compensation as a means of motivation, corporations in general, and specifically Bank of America, have been missing out on fully embracing the professional needs of employees. By not incentivizing employees with both monetary compensation as well as non-monetary compensation, corporations are increasing their turnover rate as well as not taking full advantage of fostering the strong sense of community that employees desire in the professional setting. To me, this is important because I will be entering the professional world next year, and I would like to be hired by a corporation that takes into consideration more than just monetary compensation. I would like to work for a company that is aware of the various factors that motivate employees and has managers that are willing to work on an individual basis with employees to agree upon incentives that are beneficial to both the employees as well as the corporation. In a broader sense, this issue is of importance because many people are not satisfied with their job and are unhappy with their current position. If corporations begin taking advantage of non-economic motivation strategies, employees are more likely to find purpose and pride in their work by being rewarded with things such as the opportunity to work on a project of their choosing or to be praised in a public setting. One issue I have been having since I started looking into the concept of non-traditional motivation strategies is the idea that each and every single employee is unique and is motivated by different things. Just because money may not be as of much importance to one employee does not mean another employee within the same department is not mainly motivated by monetary compensation. Research has proven employees are motivated by various needs in addition to money. However, it is impossible to know exactly what will motivate someone. For this reason, I believe corporations should have available the opportunity for employees to work on an individual basis with managers and the HR department to create incentives and rewards which are beneficial to both the employee and the corporation. There are many incentives such as flexible working hours, volunteer work, and employee luncheons that provide employees with the opportunity to feel refreshed and ready to focus on work again, which will allow them to stay focused and remain productive for the time they are working, which is what a company should desire in an employee. According to the article titled Employee Motivation, just ask your employees. The understanding of the employee motivation process requires a systematic approach, and managers must realize that employee motivation and its process are there to motivate their employees. Therefore, employee input must be valued and included throughout this process. While contemplating motivation strategies for employees, it is important to consider the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is having the desire to complete something for your own personal satisfaction, while extrinsic motivation is completing something in order to obtain a reward or avoid a punishment. Employees should be both intrinsically and extrinsically motivated in the professional setting. According to the article, does pay for performance really motivate employees? Intrinsic motivation should serve to support a firm's goals. It thus is not a goal in itself. Sometimes a specific intrinsic motivation is disadvantageous. For example, surfing the internet for private pleasure during work hours. Consequently, the managers must compare the benefits and costs related to motivating employees intrinsically and extrinsically. Though intrinsic motivation is indispensable, it nevertheless sometimes has disadvantages. Changing intrinsic motivation is more difficult and the outcome more uncertain than relying on extrinsic motivation or carrots and sticks. This is the reason why economists as well as managers traditionally prefer a reward and command policy. So, according to the article titled Employee Motivation, a Powerful New Model, recent studies have been conducted in which it has been proven that employees are motivated by four things: the drive to acquire, the drive to bond, the drive to comprehend, and the drive to defend. If corporations begin taking advantage of the new amount of information released in recent years, they will be able to better understand their employees and what is necessary in order to improve morale and keep employees satisfied with their current job, as well as the company. In doing so, the overall corporate culture and sense of community will be improved, in addition to a resulting lower turnover rate, both of which lead to greater success and productivity for the corporation as a whole. In order to be successful in implementing a motivation strategy for a company such as Bank of America, the company as a whole, as well as the managers, need to be willing to work with employees on an individual basis to find the strategy that works best for them. If a company implements an incentive program in which employees are given no personal say, the strategy will be unsuccessful. For the incentive program to be successful and useful, the company as well as the managers will need to communicate and foster a relationship with the employees in order to determine what works best for them as well as the company and their culture they have established. Additionally, the company will need to find the appropriate balance between using monetary compensation as a motivation strategy as opposed to non-traditional techniques in motivating. This will depend on the specific company and their preference towards monetary compensation. However, in order for the incentive strategy to be useful, the company will need to take into consideration the four desires of an employee I talked about earlier, as well as be diligent in fulfilling these professional desires and providing a fair and appropriate monetary compensation. According to the article, The Impact of Monetary and Non-Monetary Rewards on Motivation, Herzberg 1957 proposed that employees are influenced or driven to work by two factors: motivators and hygiene factors. Hygiene factors ensure that employees do not become dissatisfied but does not lead to high motivation. But without them, motivators cannot achieve their goal since the employees will be dissatisfied. Hygiene factors involve the process of providing rewards or threats of punishment to cause someone to do something. Salary is one of the hygiene factors. Hence, money does not lead to high levels of motivation, but impact on motivation in a way. Motivator factors are needed to drive an employee into higher performance. These factors result from internal generators to employees. Thank you.